So I think it's time to start. So hello everybody. Welcome to the third Science Café. Explore ERUA being inclusive, living with difference in urban neighborhoods, and Vincent Saint-Denis, Paris. Please excuse my friends. I always wanted to learn, but my high school insisted to learn German. So it's a dream that hasn't come true yet. I'm Athanasia Orfanou, and I'm thrilled to be your moderator for this evening. But before we dive into our discussions, I want to introduce myself. I'm a PhD student at the Department of Environment at the University of the Aegean in Lesbos Island. So today's event, it's more than just a conversation. It will be a brainstorm for creative ideas and discussions that will lead the way for the second ERUA Hackathon. As you have already seen from the call, it's going to be from 17th of October until 19th, and it's going to held at Paris8 University. So for those that you are not really familiar with what ERUA is the European Reform University Alliance, that it's in 5 universities that are located in France, Denmark, Germany, Greece, and Bulgaria. And they have joined forces to form a European University Alliance. So I don't know who is, if somebody here is already participated in our previous hackathon, but I would like to take a moment to reflect on the success of our first hackathon that was held in May on Chios Island. And the theme was accelerating Aegean Islands, entrepreneur, sustainable, resilient, creative, and multi-inter-transdisciplinary communities. During this event, 16 ERUA students from almost all the universities, from Constance University in Germany, Roskilde University in Denmark, and University of the Aegean, came together and developed innovative project ideas and supported sustainable development and helped to build creative, resilient communities. So some of these projects that they were in this first ERUA hackathon was remarkable, and I want to tell you very shortly about them. So the first one was Wasteland Was Up, and it was about upcycling in campuses with very nice ideas. The second one was Project Aware, and it was all about raising awareness about the issues the ocean is facing and how it affects us. The third one was Explore Chios Culture, innovative exploration of attractions of Chios Island. And the last one was Eco Boat, and it was an interesting project about boat restoration and recycling. So we can draw some inspiration from this past success of the first hackathon, and we can save together the second hackathon and some very nice ideas about urban neighborhoods. So let's talk about a little bit of the second hackathon. And as I mentioned before, the title is ERUA Being Inclusive, Living with Difference in Urban Neighborhoods, Saint-Denis, Paris. And as I mentioned earlier, it will be hosted in Paris8 in Paris8 University in France. So this hackathon will focus on addressing challenges in the urban neighborhoods of Saint-Denis, and with a primary aim to promote social diversity, inclusion, and cohesion. So participants will explore innovative initiatives in urban mobility, sustainable environments, cultural expressions, and entrepreneurship. I will tell about these days there in what will happen in the hackathon a little bit later, so all of the participants will join this call. And I would like to tell you that in this call, we have 4 challenges in this hackathon. So the first challenge is inclusive urban mobility, and some of you have already participated with an idea for that. The second challenge, and I think the most famous one, was nature inclusive neighborhoods. The third challenge is celebrating cultural diversity. And the fourth challenge was a diverse entrepreneur. Sorry, I always have trouble pronouncing that word. So I would like now for my colleague Nikki Krusouloudi to tell us a little bit about the first challenge and explain you some things and also to introduce herself. So the floor is yours, Nikki.
Thank you. Can you see my screen?
In a minute, yes. Now, yes.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. I'm Nikki Krusouloudi. I'm a PhD candidate at the University of the Aegean, and I'm a transportation and environmental scientist. Together, we will see about the first challenge. It's about uniting neighborhoods through inclusive mobility solutions. It's about making equal transportation solutions for campuses, communities, and societies. The concept about inclusive urban mobility emphasizes the importance of making new transportation solutions or infrastructures to meet the need of all individuals. We need to think about urban mobility and infrastructure or services of it, so it will be equal and accessible for all the vulnerable populations. If we have old people with disabilities, or those who has financial problems, or those who cannot buy their own electric vehicle. So we have to have new ideas on how we can make the urban mobility more accessible and more equal for everyone. The key elements we have is the neighborhood-centered approach, the social equity and accessibility, the multimodal transportation, the participatory planning and design, and the data-driven decision-making. I'm going to explain all of them. The neighborhood-centered approach focuses on improving accessibility, connectivity, and transportation options within neighborhoods. The goal is to create inclusive communities where everyone can easily access essential services, education, employment, and recreational opportunities. That's the one I said that maybe someone has financial problems, so it's impossible to own their own vehicle, or it's a student, or it's too old to drive, or it has disabilities. So we have to find an idea so we can make easy for all of them to travel. The social equity and accessibility by ensuring that transportation systems are accessible to all individuals, regardless of age, gender, income, or physical abilities. The multimodal transportation element is about creating networks of transit systems that connect different parts of the same neighborhood or within neighborhoods. And the choice that they can have a couple of alternatives so they can choose the one who is better for them. The other key element is the participatory planning and design by involving local communities and residents in the planning and design process. So the transportation services and infrastructures can face their needs. So we're going to have the best scenario of neighborhoods travel plan, and the data-driven decision-making by collecting and analyzing data on their travel patterns, on their transportation demand, and the user preferences, so we can identify areas for improvement and allocate resources effectively. Actually, we had proposed a couple of mobility initiatives in the first two science cafes. We had pedestrian-friendly designs. We had carpooling and ride-sharing systems. We had carpooling, e-vehicles platforms, public transport partnerships. So we have to find new ideas so we can find the better one to propose and make a policy scenario for that, so people don't have to get used to something they don't like and doesn't fit their needs. So we have to raise the transportation equity and accessibility in neighborhoods, to raise the environmental consciousness, to involve local communities in the planning and design processes, to ensure that mobility solutions are customized for the neighborhood needs and its residents. And finally, to the creations of a sustainable lifestyle with equal and sustainable transportation for all. That's why we endorse you to share your ideas so we can have smart and sustainable and equal transportation for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nikki. So whoever has also a new idea, or they want to implement their the idea they have already submitted for the challenge of Nikki, feel welcome to do it. So now we are going to the next one that I will present you. Let me share my screen a little bit. One moment, please. Okay. I think now you can see my screen, I hope. So the second challenge is the nature inclusive neighborhoods, that it was the popular one. So embracing the beauty of nature in our neighborhoods. So, but a little bit, what is nature inclusive neighborhoods? As you can all imagine, it's also known as nature-based neighborhoods or green neighborhoods. It depends of how you have already heard about it. It's residential areas that they are designed to integrate nature and green spaces into the urban areas. So as you can see also in this picture, this neighborhood will help diverse natural and semi-natural areas like forest, like green roofs, like gardens and everything. And they will help the cultural significance of their community. And they will also create recreational opportunities such as spaces of relaxation, educational activities, and the chance to connect with nature, which is very important. So what are the benefits of nature inclusive neighborhoods? As you can imagine, and also as many research have shown during the COVID pandemic, the access to green urban spaces will promote physical and mental health. You can also understand if you have been walking to a green space area that you will feel immediately better. And also it creates a feeling of safety and contributes to higher rates of employment and income, and also reduce healthcare cost and energy consumption, because having green spaces, it will help, for example, to have shade and to cooler the atmosphere. So that I will explain a little bit the energy consumption. What are the key elements of this challenge? It's a green infrastructure, access to nature, urban agriculture, biodiversity, and community engagement. So green infrastructure, as you can see in these pictures here, are obviously parks in the urban areas, tree-lined streets, as you can see in picture down, green roofs, as you can see in this picture, which are very popular nowadays, and corridors. And this will help a lot to improve air quality, because they will help improve air quality and absorb CO2 emissions, and they will help the aesthetics of the city. As if you have been, for example, in Berlin, is the most green city that I have visited. So I mean, it's beautiful, and also it will help the biodiversity conservation. The second key element is the access to nature, which is by providing easy access to nature for residents, like walking and cycling paths, nature trails, and also open green spaces that will allow residents to connect with nature and also to engage in outdoor activities and to enjoy recreational opportunities. This will benefit mental health and overall well-being of citizens. The third one is the urban agriculture, which is community gardens, as you can see in the bottom picture, and rooftop gardens or vertical farming, as you can see in the above picture, which is, as you can understand, it will help the citizens to be a part of sustainable food production and also to ensure local food security. And another benefit that is very important is the community interaction, because being part in this community, it will help people to engage better. Not last one, sorry. The other one is biodiversity, that by providing native plants or nesting areas, as you can see here, and food sources, you can attract bird species, pollinators, and wildlife, and you can contribute to overall ecological balance and to strengthen residents' connection with nature. And the last one is the community engagement, because as you can understand, by involving the community in the planning, the designing, and the maintenance of green spaces, it will foster a sense of ownership, pride, and social cohesion among residents. And that way, residents actively can shape their living environment, and then they can create sharing spaces for interaction and recreation. And they are going to be part of creating something beautiful to live in. So thank you. That was the third challenge. Let me stop sharing my screen. And now I will give the floor for the third challenge, that is celebrating cultural diversity, embracing inclusion in neighborhoods. And I think Markela will speak for that. Hi, Markela.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks and a lot the organizers for inviting us to participate in the third ERUA Science Café. Let me just quickly share my screen. All right. First, I'll take this opportunity to present our team. First and foremost, Professor Eleni Gaki and Professor Helen Iakovaki, without whom this task wouldn't have been complete. Dr. Ioannis Katsounis and myself. When faced with the topic, we tried our best to grasp the key concepts of cultural diversity and of course link them to inclusion, which is the desirable outcome that we strive for, while also including examples. So I will invite you all to embark on the journey towards understanding cultural diversity through definitions and paradigms. It is important to include definitions in such endeavors to create a framework and unveil solutions. So we will start with the key components of cultural diversity. So what does culture mean? Culture is defined as the customary beliefs, social forms, and material traits of a racial, religious, or social group. Culture takes diverse forms across time and space. For example, traditions are the cultural continuity in social attitudes, customs, and institutions. Every culture has various traditions which evolve in time and take different forms. Another example is language. It is an essential cultural trait and it plays a key role in the transmission of human culture. Moving on to diversity and inclusion. They are two interconnected concepts, but they are far from interchangeable. Diversity focuses on representation, that is the presence of differences within a given setting. It can mean differences in race, ethnicity, gender identity, age, and more. Whereas inclusion is the practice of ensuring that people feel a sense of belonging and support from an organization, etc. To quote Professor Iakovaki, diversity is being invited to the party, inclusion is being asked to dance. Now, I'd like to invite Mr. Katsounis to contribute to the discussion about the importance of inclusion and how students can use it in their task.
Thank you, Markella. Hello, everybody. Inclusion means ensuring that all people, regardless of their differences, are treated fairly and they have equal opportunities to participate in various aspects of society, for example, in social activities, in education and employment. It can create an environment where diversity is not only acknowledged, but also celebrated, and where everyone feels that is included. So the meaning of inclusion refers to diversity, access, participation, respect, and equity. Inclusion is often contrasted with exclusion and discrimination, where certain groups of people left out due to their differences. But this concept promotes diversity, social justice, and equity in all the aspects and actions of our lives, in communities, schools, and society as a whole. Cultural diversity refers to the presence of a variety of cultural groups and their unique beliefs, cultural traditions, practices, and perspectives within a particular society or community. It also refers to the coexistence of different cultures, ethnicities, and backgrounds in an inclusive manner. Cultural diversity is often seen as a valuable asset to societies because it can contribute to a richer and more vibrant exchange of ideas and experiences. So, inclusion and cultural diversity in neighborhoods are essential aspects of creating harmonious and thriving communities. When neighborhoods promote both inclusion and cultural diversity, they can have a wide range of benefits, such as learning opportunities, social cohesion, of course, economic development, and resilience. Inclusion and cultural diversity in neighborhoods can lead to various benefits, but they also require efforts to overcome challenges and ensure that all residents have a sense of community, a sense of belonging, equal opportunities, and the freedom to celebrate their unique cultural heritage. By fostering inclusiveness and inclusivity, neighborhoods can become models of prosperity. So, we're waiting for your contributions to this direction. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, John.
For your attention.
So yes, as Mr. Katsounis said, cultural diversity refers to the plurality and variety of identities and or belongings in a social setting. It is about appreciating that society is made up of different groups from a diverse set of backgrounds and cultures. Cultural diversity refers to the variety of cultures existing together in a place or a community. Some examples that can be used as culturally diverse elements are religion, age, food, communication styles, arts and music, which I did not include. And now I would like to pass the floor to Professor Iakovaki.
Thank you, Marcela. Actually, we're talking about neighborhoods as a location, and the idea of location where people can enact all their social identities. And a person can have many different aspects of these social identities, are either concrete, as in a place, or symbolic. So, for example, if you see discrimination, the unjust treatment of different categories of people on the grounds of their ethnicity, culture, ages, sex, or disability, and you have the many different forms that takes, the direct, the indirect, or the victimization, is there a symbolic place where all these differences and these discriminating factors disappear? And our first example for that is the university. The university is a place which is probably not all the time concrete. Sometimes it is symbolic, but if you're located like we are on an island, and an island is a very mixed place because it has all the traits of insularity. You can say that in a way it is very open and very close at the same time. So it is like a neighborhood. It is like a cluster. It is like a place where people have to learn to live together. And in an island like Chios, you have at least 3 distinct populations with their social identities clearly marked. We're talking about the local population. We're thinking about that brainstorming. We're talking about the students and the university community, which is also a distinct place, and there is interaction between them. And then there is a third caste, which is practically closed, never integrated, almost never participating in the actual living practices, the refugees, the immigrants who live inside the camp. So in order to make the universities open and meaningful spaces, one of the things the University of Aegean did, we're very proud of that. We wish to do it more, but of course, there are always a number of reasons for not doing it. And spoiler alert, politics plays a big role in that, was the fact that in one of our coaching, we had a European program about business coaching, and we invited over people from the camp to come and enact their social identity as entrepreneurs. Now, I know I'm overstepping a bit because this is the challenge number 4, but talking about an open and meaningful place, it was revelation to see for the first time the refugees coming and not act or being acted upon as victims, but on the contrary, as agents of something, and being coached and being, there was a lot of talk about intersectionality, gender mainstreaming, how can you provide this sort of, but the place where all this was happening was the university, because the university, being a place of knowledge, is open, it's symbolic, and it is meaningful. So in the brainstorming session, that was one of the examples where people could stay together in the same place and enact their different social identities. So I'm going to give the floor to Professor Waki, I think, who is the one who's going to explain this next thing. Or if I'm wrong, Markela, correct me.
Good evening from my side. Yes, thank you, Helen. I just wanted to say another example of the role of universities. But before that, when we talk about diversity and inclusion, diversity is actually a fact, and inclusion is or should be an act. And for this point, the universities should play a significant role. And if I could just add here an example of what universities can do, I will use the example of our university and the Department of Primary Education, which did what? It tried to involve the refugees and help them actually have a better life when being in Rhodes Island. And what they did was take some actions for them. They had actions for refugee children, so they could learn a second language, Greek, for example, and then being occupied with other creative activities and get prepared for going to school, and also actions for adult refugees, so they can fit in actually in the community. And they did that by providing them courses of Greek language and courses regarding the local or the Greek culture. So, of course, there are many other examples of the role of university in local communities, and I think some of them will be presented later on. And Markela?
Okay, thanks a lot, everyone. Let's move on to how the university culture can be integrated into the local community. So we will use some examples from our own university, since we are more aligned with those. And let's go to Future Labs. What do Future Labs do? They promote collaboration with local community by bridging science and scientific methods with the best practices used in the industry, and they promote familiarity with new technology and practices. This is the scope of this activity is to build a bridge between the local and academic community by integrating innovation in local community and introducing best practices internationally acknowledged to evolve local businesses. Next, we have the Aegean Greeners, who have identified the need for education on environmental issues in line with European environmental standards. And they use activities like beach cleansing or secondhand bazaars. The scope of this group is to also build the bridge between the local and academic community, accelerating the adoption of European practices such as citizen science through the collection of data during beach cleansings. They use the platform Marine Litter Watch, which has been developed by the European Environmental Agency, and they try to integrate internationally acknowledged practices in local communities. Finally, we have the Blue AIM team. AIM stands for Academy of Innovative Minds. Their activities are taking part in entrepreneurial contests and the development of business plans for local businesses, trying to give the tools to local businesses and introduce best practices as well. So I'll ask Professor Iakovaki once more to briefly introduce this concept.
This is one of my favorite projects, because we talked about the symbolic space, okay, but the concrete space also exists, and sometimes there is a work of art that brings to the front this idea of inclusion. I don't know how many, is there anyone familiar with this work of art? Have you seen this before? You can raise your hands. No? Okay, it happened in the year 2019, and it only lasted for 2 hours. It was an ephemeral kind of work of art. But Donald Trump was the president of the United States then, and he saw the beginning of the building of the wall that separated Mexico from the United States. And it's probably, I know I mentioned politics, it's probably interesting to point out the fact that Joe Biden announced just yesterday that he wanted to stop the building of the wall, but he can't actually. He cannot redirect the funds, so he's going to keep on building the wall. And this artist created the seesaw, you know, you remember the game we played when we were little, with that difference that he installed one side of them in the American and the other side on the Mexican side, and children, for a very brief moment, could go and play on both sides of the wall. Now, every time I talk about social identities, I feel bad because it's like some sort of, I don't know, highfalutin, complicated sort of, but here, this is a concrete example. For a brief moment in time, these children could just enact their social identity as children. There was no poor side, no rich side. They were just playing as equals. So maybe, Markela, if you can, yes. You can see there's no sound, but you can see children from both sides going up and down. And of course, it lasted a very short period of time. Other examples, which we are going to include in our Padlet, I think, is, for example, gender mainstreaming for cities or playgrounds. I don't know if you're aware of the fact, but playgrounds in most schools are being built around the idea that all students, regardless of gender, like to play football and basketball. Actually, Urbana, which is I'm very attached to their projects, did some participative sort of research and found out that girls, mostly, are not always big fans of this sort of playground. So we have a video to show you where it explains how this group decided to rearrange playgrounds so that both groups could find their joy. It's not only about the underrepresented group, whichever group that might be, but it's about both groups feeling at ease and having small nooks, crannies, and places where people can play. You can also do gender mainstreaming in a neighborhood. It doesn't require a lot of money, doesn't require a tremendous kind of investment. If you take into account the needs of the female population. I don't know, but it was new for me. I didn't know that women drive a lot less than men. So pedestrian streets are a big help for mothers with strollers and children. So you can do gender mainstreaming and make your neighborhood more inclusive just by tinkering with little things like that. Not all towns have refugees at their doors, but most of them have women. So we can start by including one group, and then, of course, by asking around, we will get more information about what other groups may want truly, and what could be an improvement. That was all for me now. Thank you very much.
Okay, so if the moderator allows it, I would like to show the video Professor Iakovaki just discussed.
Of course.
Right.
It is subtitled in English for people who... Yeah, we are being inclusive. We think about people who don't speak Greek.
Συνηθίζεται τα αγόρια να καταλαμβάνουν το κεντρικό χώρο του προαυλίου, όπου υπάρχει το γήπεδο του ποδοσφαίρου, ή παίζουν μπάσκετ στις δύο μπασκέτες, και τα κορίτσια αναγκαστικά παίζουν γύρω-γύρω στο προαύλιο με διάφορα άλλα παιχνίδια.
Έλεγε πάρα πολύ ωραία η Ελένη Γλίκατζη Αρβελέ. Έλεγε ότι δώσε μια μπάλα σε ένα αγόρι να παίξει και του ανοίγει τον κόσμο, του ανοίγει την ανική έκταση, του ανοίγει τους ορίζοντες. Και δώσε μια κούκλα σε ένα κορίτσι και το βάζεις να είναι μέσα, να. Και αυτό θεωρείται δικαιωματικό, ας πούμε, δεν το σκεφτόμαστε καθόλου. Υπάρχουν χώρες που τα έχουν σκεφτεί τα ζητήματα αυτά, που έχουν κάνει μεγαλύτερα βήματα και ο καθένας μπορεί να ωφεληθεί από την πείρα των άλλων. Πρέπει να το δεις πρώτα για να καταλάβεις ότι μπορεί να είναι κι αλλιώς και ότι δεν είναι μόνο αυτό που ξέρουμε. Και επομένως θα ήταν ένα πάρα πολύ χρήσιμο έργο να μεταφραστεί το υλικό αυτό στα ελληνικά και εργαστήρια ευαισθητοποίησης και συζήτηση και σεμινάρια να γίνουν με τους εκπαιδευτικούς καταρχήν και τις εκπαιδευτικούς και με τους γονείς των παιδιών.
Soy Elena, Julia y Dafne del colectivo Igualsari. Somos un equipo de arquitectas feministas de Barcelona. Nosaltres teníem una inquietud, volíem demostrar en quina manera el disseny dels espais influïa en els usos, en les relacions que s'estableixen i, per tant, en les desigualtats de gènere. I ho vam fer mitjançant l'anàlisi del pati d'una escola durant tot un curs d'escolar amb el professorat i l'alumnat.
Tot el que vam aprendre d'aquesta experiència havia de poder traslladar-se a altres escoles i altres comunitats. I és d'aquí d'on neix la guia, com una eina perquè la comunitat educativa pugui fer-se propi el procés de transformació del seu pati. A dia d'avui, diverses escoles ja han transformat el seu pati en un espai coeducatiu i les noves propostes integren una redistribució més equitativa dels usos, una zona de tranquil·litat i més diversitat de joc al pati.
Aquesta experiència ha servit perquè els centres educatius reconeguin el pati com un espai educatiu més, valorin el treball en equip com un procés d'aprenentatge i integrin la participació com una pràctica quotidiana del centre.
Είμαστε η Κωνσταντίνα, η Γεωργία και η Εύα, αρχιτεκτόνισσες από την Ελλάδα και την Κύπρο. Μας ενδιαφέρει η διαμόρφωση των δημόσιων χώρων δίχως αποκλεισμούς. Γι' αυτό αποφασίσαμε να μεταφράσουμε τον οδηγό τον Νίκο Αλσάρη και να τον χρησιμοποιήσουμε, καθώς η σχολική αυλή είναι ο πρώτος δημόσιος χώρος με τον οποίο έρχεται σε επαφή ένα παιδί.
Μέσα από αυτό το περιβάλλον, τα παιδιά μαθαίνουν πώς λειτουργεί η κοινότητά τους σε ισότητα και για τα δύο φύλλα, εφαρμόζοντας μετέπειτα αυτές τις αρχές στα πάρκα, στις πλατείες, στις ίδιες τους τις πόλεις, μετατρέποντάς τους σε ενεργούς και συνειδητοποιημένους πολίτες.
Ο οδηγός δίνει σημαντικά εργαλεία σε δασκάλους και δασκάλες, μαθητές και μαθήτριες να αναλύσουν το χώρο του σχολείου και να σκεφτούν πάνω σε δράσεις της καθημερινότητάς τους στο σχολείο που δεν είχαν στο παρελθόν σκεφτεί.
Με τη μετάφραση του οδηγού, η διεθνής ομάδα μας θέλει να μοιραστεί αυτή τη γνώση και να την εφαρμόσει σε διαφορετικά σχολικά περιβάλλοντα στην Ευρώπη, αρχίζοντας από την Ελλάδα και την Κύπρο.
So that was our contribution to the discussion.
Thank you very much. All of you, all four of you.
Thanks a lot.
And it was very nice, interesting video that you showed us. And now let's go to the final presentation. Our colleague Eleni Zarimi will present diverse entrepreneurs. So the floor is yours, Eleni.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Eleni Zarimi. I am a PhD candidate in the Department of Financial Management Engineering in the University of the Aegean. The fourth challenge is what we have organized for all of you with my partner, Mr. Contis. So here is with us too. I will start with share screen.
So, Eleni, would you like me to share my screen?
If you can, of course. And you may have the floor in first.
So, I think you can see the PowerPoint right now. Again, thanks for having us. So, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Right. So, welcome to the challenge of diverse entrepreneurs. So, as we embark on today's discussion, let us envision entrepreneurship not as a solitary journey, but as a collaborative adventure. Diversity is our gold mine, a treasure trove of varied experiences, skills, and thought process. So, when harnessed through a lens of inclusion and collaboration, this diversity transforms into a powerhouse of innovation and a catalyst for substantial growth. Thus, today we dive into entrepreneurship, a journey made richer with diverse minds, and diversity is about color and gender, but is also about different and diverse ideas and experiences. So when we work together, embracing our differences, we spark innovation and fuel growth. And this is exactly what we also want to achieve, we are seeking to achieve at the upcoming hackathon at Paris8.
So, excuse me. Okay,
yes.
Now we changed the slide. Okay.
So entrepreneurship at a glance. Entrepreneurship is a vibrant field. So it's more than starting a business. It's about finding ways to solve problems, creating valuable products or services, and chasing opportunities, of course. And also it's a process of identifying and creating new businesses, products, and services. So what we should actually keep in mind when we talk about entrepreneurship. So entrepreneurship is not just about profit. It's about vision, taking risks, bouncing back from challenges, and it's about making a difference, being resilient, and staying committed to your goals. So let's break entrepreneurship into 10 components. Innovation is about finding new solutions. Risk-taking is about facing the unknown bravely. Creativity is about thinking outside the box. Resource management is using what we have, but wisely. Opportunity recognition is spotting trends and acting on them. And continuing on, initiative and action is about business planning and product development and marketing efforts. Persistent and resilient keep us going when things get tough. Being goal-oriented keep us focused. Value creation is making something useful and meaningful. Economic and social impact is about contributing to society and creating jobs and driving growth responsibly. So I'm gonna give the floor to Eleni Zarimi.
Thank you, Minas, for your wonderful introduction of what we call entrepreneurship. Well, when we talk about entrepreneurship, many keep thinking, who will be entrepreneur? Who can be entrepreneur? Is only for the elite, for the rich, for the men? No, definitely no. Entrepreneurship is for everyone, and that's why we keep saying that entrepreneurship is inclusive. Could you please go to the next slide? Thank you. So, which are the key elements for inclusive entrepreneurship? Which are the most important linchpins when we talk about inclusive entrepreneurship? First, we have equal opportunities for everyone. This means that there is no discrimination for the personal characteristics and the preferences. We emphasize on the access and the support for opportunities to diverse backgrounds, creating a dynamic entrepreneurial community that benefits economy and, of course, society. We are not alone. We have people around us, so we want society to be part of this. Could you please change the slide? Thank you. We create value. What do you mean by that? We want innovation, we want creativity, we want economic growth. So we try to make a blend, a mix of all of these characteristics by encouraging the representation from underrepresented groups, including the gender, ethnic communities, as well as people with disabilities. We want collaborations. We want social enterprises, non-profit organizations, government agencies, and other local communities to become part of our ideas. Of course, all of them will help us to make our goals true, to keep our dreams up. Finally, we want creative business models. We want sustainable practices, alternative financial mechanisms, and of course, we want to generate social impact, keep the profits high. We are companies, we want profits, but also we want to preserve the future generations. So all of them are the key elements to have inclusive entrepreneurship. Next, please. A final question. Many of you keep asking, what is the product I should produce? Which is the service I should provide? Should I produce a high-tech product or service in order to start my business? Should I do something like Google does, like Amazon, like a very, very high-tech company? The real answer is no. There is a myth and a reality in this story. The myth is that entrepreneurship is only for high-tech ideas. And the reality is that entrepreneurship is both for high-tech and low-tech ideas. So when you want to start a new business venture, keep in mind that you can provide a high-tech or a low-tech service, or you can give a high-tech or a low-tech product. Next, please. And at this point, I would like to keep attention on this slide. We need to make something very clear. We need to emphasize entrepreneurship with having in our minds that entrepreneurship should be something horizontal. We don't have to keep saying, please create spin-offs or create very high-tech businesses. If you come from a community like the Golden Triangle or the Silicon Valley, yes, these proposals are for you. But if you come from a regional or a peripheral area, then you have to rethink your ideas. In these areas, as the Aegean archipelago's island or other peripheral areas in Europe or internationally talking, do not have to start businesses with innovative character. There is no room for them because there are no hubs, suppliers are limited, and of course, consumers cannot support these ventures. So the products and the services here should be diversified. For example, if you want to start your business in a small area and your business is a food restaurant with Italian food, then you should do your best and diversify your pasta. Don't be like the other food restaurant. Keep in mind to do something different. And then the market will give you the opportunity to stay up, to stay in top. They will choose you because you will provide a service, will give pasta differently from others. And this is the key. So give them higher quality of entrepreneurship. And some final concluding remarks. Get motivated and find the most important and the most significant opportunities. Try to have access to significant resources. Be creative and promote innovation. Create value and improve people's life in economic and social context. Try to give them economic and social benefits, in other words. Collaborate and increase your business hub. Find suppliers, people who can consult you, give you any new ideas. And of course, think out of the box. Entrepreneurship is both high-tech and low-tech. So try to find the best way to stay on top. If you want to be the pasta owner, yes, you can, but give them the best pasta. That's all we had to say for today with my colleague, Minas. Thank you for your attention. Keep in mind that entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial orientation is for everyone. So we are here to discuss everything. And we are also here to communicate further and give any advice from our personal experience. And of course, everything we know about these topics. Thank you.
Thank you both very much. This was our last challenge. And now, because I think you have heard a lot of from us, now we would like to hear a little bit from our participants. So our colleague has shared already in the chat a Padlet that you can go to the Padlet and you can see already some ideas that they have already been sent to us. There are some very interesting ideas in there. And as long as you go to the Padlet and read a little bit the ideas, I would like to see who would like to tell us some words about their idea. Who would like to share first? Because I can see there are some participants that they have already sent us their ideas, and we would like to hear from them. So you can raise your hand from the reactions, and we will. Well, you don't have to present something, so don't be shy. Just share a little bit your idea. Let's see who will be the first to break the ice. No one? Don't leave me hanging here. I think someone would like to share their idea. Who is very thrilled about participating in the second ERUA Hackathon? So because we are a little bit shy,
I guess I can, hi.
Hi, thank you very much.
No problem. So I'm Mitzi, I'm from the University of Constance. And I submitted green exercise idea because I'm a master's student on sports science. So this semester, actually, we discussed nature. We had a seminar on nature and exercise, and not only how it's important to, like you mentioned, it has the mental and also physical benefits to it, but it has other benefits community-wise. And so I thought this challenge was also very close to like what we have done. So we have done also research on that aspect as well, and designed different programs with the research that we discussed during the seminar. And we also had some experts, so we had to create a podcast and interview some of the experts around here, Germany and Switzerland, and then just take some points from them and where is the research going from that aspect. So I wrote just like a general idea right now on what like green exercise was all about. But thank you for all the presentations, and I think it made it clear like what's the goal from all of that. And I don't know what else should I explain, but yeah, that was basically the main idea for the plan that I wrote.
Perfect. And what will be the what did you gain from this research that you did? What was your sorry, I will think. I have seen here that you had identified the green spaces, right? And the design and development, did you design and develop something already?
Yes, it was during class. So basically, because here in Constance, we are surrounded by nature, so we have access to that. But another thing that we took into consideration was, and I think this conference got a great point on urban places where you don't maybe have that nature environment, or it's not that close, so people cannot have access to it. So creating new green spaces, I think it's like really important to include that component. So one of the programs that we designed during the seminar was to start with the young ones, because we believe that the sooner you start implementing or creating this new culture of like green exercise, then it becomes like a habit. So we created like this program which will work with schools, so the kids will have this like forest school interaction some days throughout their school time. So they are not just having their normal subjects, but also connecting with nature and learning about the sounds that they have in the forest, and also like touching stuff, and make it like a storytelling class at the end of the day, and reflect on what they have available in their communities, and really appreciate the value of that. So that's one of the small projects that we had going on.
Very interesting. I think we will try to implement it also here. It was very, very nice.
Thank you.
So we will probably all work together in Paris8. So we are happy to see you there also. Who would like to continue with their idea? Who would like to see a little bit? I can share the Padlet a little bit to see and the existing ideas that they are here. Okay, so is there anybody from the first challenge, the inclusive mobility, that they have suggested one idea that our colleague Nikki we can comment a little bit about this idea? And if somebody from this team is here, it will be very helpful to speak about it and to have a dialogue together. Is there anybody here? About the concept plan to promote sustainable mobility in the neighborhood of Saint-Denis. The team was from Maurice Peter, Andras Prosper, Adela Majdaoud, Ibrahim, and Rally Hauna. Okay, sorry, I'm I'm bad at pronunciation names. Nikki, do you want to tell us a little bit that you read about the idea?
I already read it. It's a great idea, very difficult to be done during the hackathon. Very interesting, bringing together sustainable mobility and behavioral change. I really liked it. It's hard, but possible to be done. I think that the team proposed it is from Paris8, so we can make we can run a pilot test at their neighborhood with their friends or families. I don't know. Difficult, but it can be done, the pilot test for sure. So can't wait to meet them and work with them.
Perfect. And I would leave you just 2 minutes so you can press the link and look at yourself a little bit the Padlet and the ideas of the other participants. And whoever is not already in a team or doesn't have an idea, we have also this column with new ideas, and you can have a new idea from scratch that you can share with us. Or you can add some idea in the fourth challenge that you see here. So let's take 2 minutes to read a little bit the Padlet, and we will come back to have a conversation.
Sorry, if I could just add something, and I would like to thank Yannis very much for adding it. Under the section New Ideas, you can find some titles celebrating cultural diversity, ideas to upgrade university events, things as you wish them to be, and what are the challenges in your neighborhood. So if you want to brainstorm a bit, thank you, Yannis, for sharing. If you want to brainstorm a bit and tell us a little bit about what you think under each title, we can discuss it afterwards. Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you, Markela. So I think we can see, as I can see here, I see that I will see a little bit the participants who is here, so we can have a conversation about their ideas if they are not very shy. So is anybody here from the Harmonious Living Spaces, a vision for natural neighborhoods? Let's see. I think not. Let's go to the second one of this challenge. I've seen, I think that Kuletsi Elena Electra was inside with us, but not anymore. Who would like to share about their ideas a little bit? An interesting idea that Isaac have already seen about the neighborhood beauty, the challenge number 2. There are some very interesting ideas. The first one is it includes, I think, a variety of things: green infrastructures and parks, sustainable architecture and design, community engagement. That it's all very, very interesting. But I think because our time is a little bit, it's not too much to try to implement all of this. Maybe we would like to be a little bit more more focused on a specific thing. But we will discuss it, obviously, when we all meet to Paris. And let's see the other ones. Does anybody wants to add something or say something about their idea? Or about not only the challenge, the second challenge, or the other challenges, or some new idea to share with? Because now I think you will have a more clear point of view about after our presentations about what each challenge is about and is referring to. So yes, who would like to say something about that? Or who would like to ask something about how to participate, for example, in some group or on some team? Who would like to? Because I would like to tell you about a little bit of the organization part that when we arrived in Paris8, the teams will cooperate efficiently with the guidance of their coaches, mentors, and in order to develop sustainable projects and initiatives and models that they have already suggest, or new ideas, as we mentioned. And each team will present its ideas to their mentors in a preliminary meeting. So they will be able to receive feedback and improve their proposals. For example, if it's too much to implement or it's not sustainable, they will have some feedback. And then The procedure will be completed when participants will present their ideas to the final jury panel, and they will be also invited stakeholders, experts, or members of the society. And then the proposals will be, as well as the presentations, will be evaluated by the jury panel. And this is very important to keep in mind, that they will be evaluated by those following criteria: innovation, team composition, presentation, perfection, plan adequacy, and proposal sustainability. So you will have to keep this in mind. Yes, you will have to keep this in mind. So you will have your idea to have these goals, to succeed these goals, to aim for these goals. Okay, so I'm not seeing a lot of participation. So, for example, just to walk you through an idea that caught my eye, it's that transforming neighborhoods with algae-powered infrastructure. For example, this is from Galan Christina. I don't know if she's here. Let me see, I think not. It's a nice idea about they have the vision to revitalize neighborhoods in Paris by implementing innovative nature-centric solutions that will address environmental challenges, reduce energy consumption, and empower the community. And this will happen by algae-powered infrastructure, and that will aspire to create a sustainable urban environment that will benefit residents to nature into the heart of the city. So, for example, algae-powered traffic lights, algae-heated bus stations, community empowerment. So that is an innovative idea, because algae, I think it's the future fuel if you have of biogas. So that was, for example, a nice idea from the challenge number 2. How about the challenge number 3? Have you seen, or do you want to share something, Markela or Yanis or Eleni, with the participants about their idea? Have you have some comments or some ideas to share with them? I would ask the same thing for the challenge number 4, but we don't have any ideas for that. So sorry, Minas and Eleni Zarimi. So
yes, that wasn't expected. I thought we could have more than one potential entrepreneurs, but we actually don't. And I can't understand why, because when we talk about entrepreneurship, there are many people that think that, yes, I could do this idea one day. I could think about this when I grow up. I'm really confused by this outcome.
Maybe when you meet with everybody, you will discuss it and some new ideas will come up. As I can see...
I hope... sorry to interrupt. I hope we can persuade the young entrepreneurs and the participants of the hackathon to get the diversity into ideas in the room when in Paris.
As I can see here, because he also sent us something in the chat, so maybe he wants to participate. I don't want to put you on the spotlight if you want to participate, or if you're shy, just send us in the text, in the chat. Christoforos Janu, that he has the idea about a mobile application for the culture unity. Do you want to share anything about your idea?
Hello, everyone. I heard a lot of things from this presentation, and I want to think about subtopics from our idea with my teammates. So we want to make it even better from what I heard today.
Perfect.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Is it necessary to bring a presentation to the Paris, like a completed presentation, or we will make it here in Paris?
No, we will make it there. Don't worry. You will not. You don't have to have a presentation already there. We will build it all together.
Because we want to make like a prototype from for the application that we think,
Mm-hmm.
and we want to have it ready, or we can build it here in Paris.
If you have it ready, it's also.
No, we don't have it ready, but okay. Also, it's necessary to bring laptops or
Yes, laptop it will be necessary because you will have to have your own laptop to work your prototype, to work your presentation. Yes, so laptops are yeah.
All the members or
No, not all the members. If, for example, you are 3 people and you can work your presentation in one laptop, one is more than okay.
Okay, all right, perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have any questions or something to share with us? Or from the other presenters, maybe they want to say something? If not, I would like you to, if you don't mind, to open your camera to have a family picture of the pre-hackathon Science Café. And after that, we will have in Paris a live one. We will have the pre-hackathon and after hackathon photo. If you don't mind to open the cameras and have a picture. So who will take the picture? Katerina, Yannis? Yannis.
Well, don't be shy. We are all here together at the park. Let's say hello to the camera somehow. And we will be very glad to meet you all at Paris as well.
Let's see which faces we will meet in 1 week from now. And whoever has a new idea, they can also post it. The link from the Padlet is going to be there, so they can add it later if they want some time to think about it and to make the idea more complete. But yes, as we mentioned before, you don't have to have your presentation ready or to be 100% ready for this. And
sorry for interrupting. Anastasia has her hand up.
Sorry. Yes, Anastasia.
I have one question regarding like the conference schedule. Like, will there be any time, like when is beginning, where is the end, during the day? Because we need to know, maybe we could get to Paris in the morning, or it will be too late. So,
Yes, you will receive the program, the schedule, in the next days. Yes, we will send it as soon as possible. So you will have time to manage your flights, your trains, or whatever sustainable way you manage to come to Paris.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other technical question? Or not technical question? If not, and if our presenters / mentors don't want to share anything else with our participants. I will ask you to take some time to look at the Padlet, to look these ideas, to be a little bit prepared for the hackathon. And I am really thrilled to meet you all in person in Paris. And yes, I think we can wrap this up. And if nobody else has something to comment, we will meet you all in person next week. Okay? Thank you very much for participating.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.